It's almost there. There we go. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I am your friend, ally, Tyler Ellison. I am joined by the magical, mystical Yahira Vargas. Yahira, thank you for being here and joining us this day. How is everything?
Yeah, I love the magical. Thank you so much.
Of course, you're
It's
super
all good. It's all good with it.
perfect.
How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. It's a crazy day. Our moon is in Aries, meaning how we're just talking. This is a time of new energy, being able to move forward with your goals, but it's also a time of conflict and tension between people. So make sure you are extra soft with the people you meet today so you don't accidentally butt heads, and also stand your ground if you have to. If a monkey throws poop at you, remember you are at liberty to throw poop back. So you don't have to be sheep when times get tough, but also know how to temper severity and mercy. Otherwise, we become tyrants. And then, well, you know what happens. Whenever someone gets too powerful in a malicious way, the universe has a reputation for striking whatever tower they've built down. So remember, it's all right to be martial. It's all right to be brutal, right? It's why martial arts exist. But we also need to make sure we don't get excessive in those areas. And it's so easy to do because remember, destruction is a fire. It's attractive. We like to look at it. It warms us. So make sure if you're going to burn a destructive fire, put some wood of mercy and compassion in there that you can burn. So that way you're not too much, you're not too excessive. So use this day to move forward on your goals, your projects. That's exactly what we are doing here. We have so many cool things in the works that we're going to tell you all about before we get started. So tonight, if you love Ryokah and you love Japan, you want to get into international reputations and relationships, you want to get into transcultural exchange with a spiritual theme, that I invite you to the live stream I will be doing with Mr. Akira tonight. Akira is one of my good friends from Japan. He hosted me the last time I was there. He organized an entire Ryokah tour. We went to Mount Fuji. We went to Buddhist monasteries. We went to the beach. We ate sushi. It was amazing. Akira is a wonderful person. I want you all to meet him because he really helped my path and my career in this art form really accelerate. And it's so great to be collaborating with him again. And we are going to be doing a Japanese English cultural exchange together. That's going to be taking place on the 11th. So if you want to learn more about that, if you want to meet other spiritual people across the world who are excited to learn English, who are excited to learn about these ideas, then join us. There's going to be channeling not just at the live stream, but also at our event on the 11th. So check out our Facebook page. He has a post in there. We will do our best to make a post today to reinforce it so you guys can find it. We are quite busy, so we'll see if we have time to do that. But I just want to direct you, go to the Ryo Facebook page, search Akira in that chat in the search bar, and you'll find that link. So we invite you to that tonight. We're also incredibly excited because we have a new monthly event that we are launching. This is going to be taking place every single month that you guys can attend. And this live event is a magic ritual that you will all be able to participate in. This is group magic. We are going to be using tools. We are going to be learning how to summon different celestial beings and powers. And the entire focus of the ritual is so everybody involved benefits. So I will be conducting the ritual in a rather traditional way, using different techniques, some of them quite advanced. You don't have to know those things to partake. While I am conducting you could say, the energy for the foundation of the ritual, all of the attendees are also going to be doing very simple, easy to do techniques that will teach you how to work with energy consciously, that will teach you how to isolate very specific frequencies of energy. And you'll also get practice with using magical tools and props, which makes your manifestations 1,000 times more powerful. So we are going to be doing our very first one next Saturday, the 11th at 5 p.m. The link for this is on thegalacticguide.com. I encourage you all to join us for this ritual. I'm going to encourage that everyone that attends purchase either green or golden candles, just a little tea light, right? Really small candles, nothing too big, a really simple thing that will burn out in like 2 hours. So if you want to come, it's encouraged that you get some of those. You don't need the prop to do this, but you're going to find it's a lot easier and more fun if you have a candle. You'll feel like you're a part of it in a deeper way. And of course, I can't close this promotional opening without first mentioning that this upcoming weekend we have Magnum Opus Part 2, the fusion of the 5 elements and 8 forces, where we are going to be connecting our energy body to the elements, to the planets, to the stars. We're going to be pulling them into us, fusing them together into a ball of light that we use to wrap our bodies, our organs, and our minds. So every cell in your body becomes synchronized with the collective will of creation itself. So we encourage you, come to this event if you are interested in things beyond the mundane, things beyond the 5 senses. If you've been hearing about oneness, but you're like, where the hell is it? Come join us for this 3-day training. This is going to be taking place on Friday the 10th, and it expands all the way until Friday the 12th. So you're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to learn a heck of a lot. And if you want to do channeling, everything I teach is what helped me to be the type of channel that I am. Without these techniques, I would be lesser than what I am now in this skill and in this evolutionary path. So if you want to slingshot yourself into space safely with a type of smart chip on whatever sling you got shot from that can guide you and direct you to wherever you want to go, well, come join us. We'll show you how to navigate your astral spaceship and connect to the various powers of existence consciously. So you can take your spirituality from theoretical to your everyday life, practical, physical, lived way. Now, with that being said, everybody, we are going to dive right in to some epic trance channeling. And in this trance channeled transmission, I'm going to be bringing Ryokah of the Essassani people forth, and you all get to ask him questions. You can ask whatever the heck you want. We don't like to put limits on your curiosities. We accept predictions. We accept health readings. We accept pretty much any question under the sun. The only disclaimer worth mentioning is this is a public forum, and we only have your text question submission. Therefore, there's less of your energy to read. And also, some questions, it's better to have in a private session, right? A question of, is my lover cheating on me? Please don't ask that here, because we don't want to say yes in front of thousands of people, if you understand what I'm saying. So ask questions that are appropriate for the public forum, but be as creative as you want. Again, we don't want to limit you. We value your questions. Your questions are the necessary keys in the engine igniter that creates the information, right? So my role is to just spiritually align myself as regularly as I can. So when your beautiful questions come into my field, the answer can be reciprocated with speed and precision. So y'all make that possible. Good questions create good answers. So if you like this information, it means that the audience asks great questions. Before we get into the Q&A, we are going to announce our upcoming Ryokah transmission that's going to be taking place, get ready, on a Monday. I know that is different, but we have a very tight schedule this month. We have some travels, we have a lot of programs, so we have to move some things around. It is going to be taking place Monday, the 13th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So, my friends, I encourage you to attend this live stream event because they are getting more and more epic. We've been posting them, as you've seen on the YouTube, because in my head, I'm like, this content is so good, it really should be shared. Even I have my mind blown quite regularly by what comes through. So I encourage you, get that information as it comes right from the spout, right? Get it right from the tap. When you're there live, you get dosed with that first. And we have been sharing a lot of those videos publicly after the events, but we don't do that for all of them. So some of these events, it's like they're like an ancient scroll, right? They're just there waiting for some magical person to touch it and awaken. So you don't have to dig in the catacombs or archives to find all of those things. Get them fresh, get the latest edition, because we are the result of the current update the universe is going through. So the older stuff's great. I love it. And it is foundational. But remember, the current energies are the leading edge. So I encourage you, if you want that leading edge quality, come to the event. We'd love to have you. And now I am going to dive into the altered state. I'm going to bring Ryokah forth. You guys can ask your questions once we get to the Q&A portion. And as always, my friends, have a wonderful, exciting time, and I will see you the other side. Yeah. Yeah. All right, we thank you all for joining us for another co-creative communication and conversation with one another this morning, this afternoon, this evening of your time, depending on where you are located on your wonderful planet. We shall begin this transmission with the announcement of our upcoming live stream event, which shall be titled Stories in the Sky, and will take place on your date of Monday, the 13th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And in this transmission, we shall talk to you about quite a few things. We shall talk to you about the ability to divine spiritual information, powerful meaning, and synchronicity through working with the air elementals that are responsible for organizing the geometries that lead to the various cloud structures and formations that you see within your sky. We shall lead you all on an astral journey so you can perform what is traditionally called cloud walking, where you can explore these air-based elemental kingdoms that reside within your atmospheres. Furthermore, we will take you beyond the level of the atmosphere into the level of the stars, where we shall explore the various oversoul dynamics and oversoul themes of exploration and soul-based incarnation that are pertinent to the various stars that make up your 12 constellations of the zodiac. We will talk to you about the lives of various beings and civilizations related to these stars. We will talk to you all about your relationship with these stars, so you can begin to connect with some of the extraterrestrial incarnations that you have had. For many of you have incarnated within the stars of the zodiac prior to coming to Earth. We will tell you why. We will tell you what that allows for you to experience in this lifetime because of what you have done in what you would consider to be a past-based reality. Of course, they are simultaneously occurring, the past and future, but nonetheless to your present self and even to your soul, there is an experience of time that is somewhat linear. Therefore, the idea of calling these things past lives still has a certain dimension of relevance. So that is why we speak in such ways, because it is how your brain is wired to understand linear progression, essential for your strengthening of the character that you are creating yourself to be. And it's not just your physical incarnation that is doing that. Remember, your soul is also a type of character that is also growing, that is also evolving. So it also experiences change. Therefore, it also experiences time. We thank you for receiving this opening description of the upcoming event that we shall be creating with you all on Monday the 13th at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Stories in the Sky. And now we make ourselves available to you all for your questions, for the sharing of your dreams, for the descriptions of the divine paths that you walk.
Greetings, Ryokah.
Yes, greetings to you as
How are
well.
you?
Thank you for your attendance and facilitation. How is your eternal now unfolding for you?
Very beautiful. Thank you.
Excellent. You
Very
are quite
beautiful.
yes, we are happy to hear of this. And we are also eager to hear the submitted questions. We can feel the frequency, emanation that they are giving off.
That's so awesome. So the first question, Rob Gauthier, Aries, says the splitting prism has already occurred, and individuals in our lives may have been with our twin oversoul mechanism. Please expand on this.
Please repeat the question one more time for us for audio clarification.
Rob Gauthier, Aridif, says the splitting prism has already occurred, and individuals in our lives may have been replaced with versions of them created by our twin oversoul mechanism. Please expand on this.
Absolutely, yes. Remember, you began moving through the splitting prism December 21st, 2012. So it's not that it's already occurred and is finished, it is ongoing. It started then, it will continue until about 2050, 2060. So this is occurring. Yes, you are all fractaling into your own specific self-created timelines. Before the splitting prism, it was as if your collective experienced in a stronger way the illusion of all sharing the same reality, of all being on the same planet. But once you move through that splitting prism, you begin to fractal into your own version of Earth, your own unique timeline, where ultimately we're not exaggerating in the slightest. What you say goes. That's the law of your world. What you say goes. Abracadabra. I create as I speak. That is the law of all of your timelines that you are creating. And yes, many people in your lives, you are summoning forth parallel versions of them that in many ways resonate with what you call the soul level, the spirit level, the oversoul level. And this is why many of you are experiencing your relationships becoming more harmonious. Now, some of them might still be a little rigid. They might still be abundant with tension, but that's because the karma connected to those denser relationships is perhaps a little bit more amplified because there's more for you to learn. You learn and you grow through challenge. So if you still experience negative contrast in your relationships, don't fret. It doesn't mean something's wrong. It just means more creativity, more tenderness, and more intelligence is needed in the navigation of those relationships so you can learn what you need to learn and either transform the relationships into something higher or completely move on. That is our suggestion. Those that are unwilling to change, that seem to only want to pull you down, that seem to only want to take energy or burden you with their egoic creations, you can let those relationships go. You don't have to be cold and cut people out, but don't feed them energy. If it's not benefiting you, if it's not teaching you, if it's not enriching you, you can change the channel. Remember, if you're watching something on TV and it's just a bunch of infomercials on the channel you're watching that really have nothing to do with what you wish to purchase, why would you keep that channel on? Be empowered, pick up the remote, and change the channel to something you'd like. And what we're saying here is use that creative intelligence to either transform those relationships of tension or simply let them go and let that person evolve on their own. And who knows, they might get what they need as a spiritual being, and then they may come back into your life and they may play that role of blessing in your life. So remember, people change, and sometimes people change through space and distance faster than attempting to directly intervene in the relationship. So use your creativity. The splitting prism will continue. It will intensify. And just because it's intensified, that doesn't mean it will become somehow turbulent. The intensification really is an amplification, which means the signature frequency that you're emanating when you're aligned with it, that is, becomes stronger. Therefore, the manifestations become quicker. The reflections become more specific. And it will get to a point where by 2050, what you spend your time thinking about will start to happen quickly. It will be like you're in a living dream because this is paralleling your species' ascent into fourth density. That's the point of the splitting prism, to bring you all fully into fourth density so you can be like us, more quasi-physical in nature. You won't be as quasi-physical as us because, of course, you're rooted in a solid physical reality, but you'll experience that in greater ways. So to really simplify what that means, what does it mean to be quasi-physical? At a minimum, it means you are just as aware of your energy body as you are your physical body. And through that holding of both physical and non-physical together, the physicality becomes gradually transformed over time. So your physical body becomes more of an energy body. So you're going to all have a lot of fun. Enjoy the ride. Of course, make sure to buckle up. Keep your hands and legs inside the vehicle at all times, as you say. You'll be fine. Just keep practicing what you preach. Keep walking your walk. Don't just talk the talk. Do it. Do what thou will shall be the whole of the law, as was said by your Crowley, one of your more recent prophets on earth. So, what you say goes. Abracadabra. And so it is.
Please tell us more about parenting in Essassani.
All right. So, parenting in Essassani, on my home world, in the Sasanian civilization, is quite different than how you parent on Earth. So keep in mind, what we are going to describe is able to exist in the way that it does because all members of my people are more or less on the same wavelength of ascendancy. So we reflect what you might call Shambhala, an enlightened, if you're going to use that word, civilization. That is why what we are about to say happens and operates in the ways that it does. So, the children that are created on Essassani, my homeworld, are created through two beings, male and female, merging energy fields. It's a type of what you would call psychic sex. It is just as blissful, if not more blissful, than your physical sex. Even though our bodies do not even need to physically touch, it is somehow more carnal than what you have in your physical bodies. Because the body, remember, creates a certain limit. The body can only experience so much sensation, so much pleasure. Your energy body's not bound in that way. As a result, through the multi-orgasmic amplification, a portal is opened that a soul can directly enter into. A light body matrix that is the result of the male and female being is generated that creates the energetic scaffolding for the body that this soul will take. That body will sometimes be in its densified form, similar to the age on your planet that you would consider to be an infant, sometimes a toddler, depending on the nature of the soul. If the soul is more advanced and has already learned the lessons of infancy, then it may incarnate into the created toddler-like form or body. That would be more appropriate for its level of consciousness. If the soul is newer, as you say, if it has less experience, the densified form may be that of an infant. So in that way, we do not have the children passing through the female birth canal. While that is very useful, that is really relevant only to physical incarnation. So we do not reproduce through what you would call biological physical sex. Therefore, our children are not born that way. They are born in the space itself. They are materialized in the space itself. If you were to observe it, it would be like watching a being gradually appear out of thin air. As a result, the children are rather advanced. They do not go through the forgetting process, which is a side effect of passing through the birth canal. So their memories are intact. They have a sense of who they are if they are an infant. They have knowledge of who they are if they're a toddler. As a result, they hit the ground running, so to say. The mother and father that have given rise to them spend a great deal of time with this child. Most of the child's early life is spent with the mother and father. But because the child has knowledge of who they are, what they are here to do, they understand the types of skills they need to learn. They understand the types of relationships they need to be a part of, and they understand the types of experiences they need to have in order to fulfill their will on or off of Essassani. So because all of the other adults and children within the society are operating on the same wavelength of success, abundance, and exploration, the child is free to interact with members of the community as they see fit. In that way, the role of protector does not need to be played within my civilization in the realm of parenting. We love and trust one another that much, and it's mutual. It's not one-sided. So the children are free to explore and to learn with all types of different diverse members of my civilization and species. They, of course, will return to the mother and father to integrate what they've learned, to share what they've learned, and the mother and father will transmit ancient ancestral wisdoms to the child to help reinforce their learning. The children, at a rather young age, have the ability to join a variety of different programs that the Sasanian civilization has to offer. Some become ambassadors, some become first contact specialists, some become engineers, some become artists, some become pilots. Now, it might sound like at first all of these different roles are very, you could say, specialized, just as you have on Earth. But remember, if you are an artist, it's likely your art will be used in the production of certain structures, certain spacecraft, certain gifts that we bestow to other civilizations. If you're a pilot, you may be working with the first contact specialists, the ambassadors. There's all types of exchange and interplay between these various roles. So the children receive training at a very young age that complements their natural gifts. So our learning is guided by our inner selves. When we are children within my civilization, we are the ones guiding our learning. We seek out the relationships. We seek out the experiences. We're encouraged to. We are encouraged to. And we never lose that familial connection to our mothers and fathers because we always spend time with them, integrating and sharing the experiences. And even when we're away from them, the telepathic link is so strong, it's like they're right next to us. Just as we say, your loved ones that have passed on remain with you, and many of them are anchored into your aura. And when you go into meditation, sometimes you can feel it. For us, that sensing is so greatly strengthened that it feels like at times your mother and father are right next to you, even if you are, let's just say, on a scout craft above the Himalaya mountains like myself. So we are a very tight-knit family. That is how we see ourselves, and that is how our children are raised.
What is the huge anomaly detected by satellite lately near South Africa? moving under seawater and measured as bigger than Texas?
One moment, we will scan into it. We appreciate the question. It is a type of energy. It's not necessarily a being, but it can present as one if you tune into it. So keep in mind that all forces of nature that are powerful, that are large, have so much energy making them up that it is as if a spirit that inhabits whatever that force is able to express and personify itself. So what is being observed is not necessarily a being, but it might look like that, especially if you tune into it. It is an energy that is being emitted from the center of your planet. We'll scan more deeply. It is greatly connected to the fire that exists within the heart of Gaia. We'll go deeper. It is a natural phenomenon. It is not something that is created from off-world beings. It is something being produced by your Earth. It is a natural phenomenon. It is not what you would classically call extra-dimensional in nature. It is not completely physical either. So keep in mind that many of the energies that are connected to your physical reality experience are non-physical. A great example of this is your electromagnetic field. This is a physical energy that to you appears to be non-physical. So this rather large accumulation of energy is following that same thread. It is a natural creation of the Earth. We'll scan in a little bit more. It is not a destructive force, so keep that in mind. It is not something that is here to create chaos. It is here to gather attention, specifically to the coastlines of South Africa. It's meant to draw your attention here. It's specifically relevant to what is taking place within the country, on the continent. So what is occurring within the waters is the result of certain things that are occurring on land. So attention can be drawn there. It is deeply connected to what you would consider to be ancient technologies. Remember, many ancient technologies on your planet appear to be inert, like they've lost power. But just as you can put your computer, your desktop into rest mode or sleep mode, you can do the same thing with these ancient technologies. So let's just say, and we'll be cryptic, certain technologies that were in rest mode are now turning back on, right on schedule. So investigate this, play with this. For those of you that practice astral projection, project there. See for yourselves what is taking place. We have clarified enough where now you should be able to very easily tune into the astral overlays and qualities connected to the large phenomenon that has been observed within your planet's waters.
What are your thoughts on the Bhagavad Gita? Did those events really happen? Why did Krishna fight in the war if he's peace and love?
Well, there's a phrase on your planet in the martial arts communities, and we'll say it here. It is superior to be a warrior in the garden than to be the gardener in a war. Remember, tread lightly, walk softly, but carry a big stick. Yes? Remember, even your Jesus Christ, your Yeshua of Nazareth, flipped temple tables over, destroyed property, whipped people, used violence. He insulted Pharisees to their faces, yet he is seen as the ultimate representation of light and love on your planet. So remember that you're on Earth. If there's a war going on that involves you, get involved. Strive to create peace always. But if you are being attacked, if your loved ones and friends are being attacked, this might not do too much. Especially if the attackers see your light and love as weakness, which is common on your planet. You are taught, many of you, to think that love and goodwill is a type of, you could say, childlike quality that only those in ignorance hold on to. It is the callous, the cold, and the strong that truly are the leading example. Of course, this could not be further from the truth, but yet that's the subconscious text that many minds on earth are reading when they are perceiving acts of kindness, acts of love. They see it as cute, childlike. They don't take it seriously. So we don't advocate violence. That's not our role. There are plenty of beings on your planet that do that. Just turn on your evening news. You'll meet them. What we advocate is the following: strive to create peace, strive to create unity. And if you are being attacked, if your loved ones are being attacked, protect and defend that which you hold dear. And don't leave any embers burning. Crush the fire completely, or it will come back bigger. We know many people may not be a fan of this. We're not exactly celebrating it either, but we're letting you know, if you're on Earth and you're contending with war, do your best to heal the war. And in that meantime, between beginning and end, if you must protect yourself, if you must defend yourself, do so. It's not evil, it's not wrong, it's not weakness. If a bear were attempting to eat the cubs of a mountain lion, that mountain lion would go down fighting that bear to death so the cubs could get away. So there's nothing weak at all about standing up for your loved ones, standing up for your country, standing up for what you believe in. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, don't be excessively brutal where you cause damage you don't mean to cause. Be controlled, be civil, be intelligent, and ultimately be compassionate, because those attackers, they're just expressions of you through that multidimensional mirror. So never forget this. That is why in Japanese culture, when samurai would do battle, when one would kill the other, oftentimes the killer would wink at them before the moment of death, because they both know it's just a game. It's not real. It feels as real as anything else in physical reality, but nevertheless, it's just a game. Did the events in the Bhagavad Gita happen? Yes. Are they all literal? They are literal in a sense. We'll explain it in the following way. Many of these events took place off-world. So certain off-world events and phenomenon are being described in the Bhagavad Gita, and they are being described in a way that makes it seem as if they are relevant to Earth and what's happening on Earth. That's not 100% the case. What's being talked about here is the karmic overlay, because many of you have past lives in other dimensions, in other realities, in other civilizations. So there is a type of quantum entanglement between your present selves and those quote-unquote past selves that you're connected to. So many of those same themes from those other times will play out on Earth. So what's being described here are literal things, but they're not all completely relevant to Earth in terms of physical expression, yet they certainly have a very potent energetic expression on Earth. So remember, on that notion of war and protection and military power, if your ancient people did not have that, many of you would not be here right now. Keep that in mind. In your Kabbalah, there are legions of angels, entire dimensions that are connected to Martian power, protection, and even conquest if needed. It's a part of the divine mind, a foundational part. It's the power of destruction. And it is a power. If you did not have that power, remember, 6 cells in your body would never get eliminated. You use the power of death and destruction every single day. Right now, right now, right now. That's happening in you. It's happening around you. And if it did not happen, there would not be enough energy for the forces of life to express in the ways that they do. Destruction produces fire. Fire is energy. Destruction could be genocide, a negative form of destruction. Destruction can also be a forest fire, a natural form of destruction. So do not shy away from these things. Do not obsess over these things, and do not fear these things, or you will fear your own power. So advocate for peace. Be warriors of peace if you must be. And of course, tread lightly and carry a big stick.
And our last question would be, if forgetting is a result of passing through the birth canal, does that mean C-section babies remember more?
That is correct. But there are trade-offs. You must remember that if a baby is born through cesarean section, what will occur is there will oftentimes be digestive issues because they do not get the vaginal bacteria on their bodies and in their lungs and things like this. So there can be immunological issues. There can be issues with sex hormones like testosterone and things like this. There can also be digestive issues. The microbiome does not get nourished as well. So to compensate, breastfeeding these children would be incredibly useful, essential. It will ensure that they're able to make up some of that deficiency. But ultimately, yes, these children tend to remember a lot more. Yes. Yes. So there's pros and cons to it. Absolutely. And in that way, all things can be used positively. And in that way, any deficiency that is created through birth can be compensated. Remember, you can build yourself back up with nutrition and with different types of probiotic supplementation, even in a way that derives the power of that supplementation from the mother's microbiome. Such technologies exist. So there's many ways to compensate and to maximize the strengths that are present in a cesarean section, as well as that in a natural birth. So we thank you for your questions. We will take one more.
Beautiful. Thank you. My last son was born in C-section, so that's awesome information to know. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Next question. Okay. What about discernment in war? What about the death of innocence?
Sure. Well, the most we can say about that in a simple way is the following. Fire burns. And when it burns, sometimes it spreads. And when it spreads, sometimes it burns down things that were never meant to be burned down. It's a tragedy. Ideally, it should not happen. Now, because it's happening, remember, it's a part of the story. There is nothing outside of God's will, as you say, on earth. Nothing. Even the death of innocence. That's a part of that divine plan, that divine story. So if it's happening, validate that it's happened. It's what needed to have happened. Yet strive to create something better as soon as you can. That is essential, because by your own human standards, it should not happen. It's wrong. It's a tragedy. So strive to create something better. We're not just speaking to the citizens here. We are speaking to your militaries right now. Create weapons, if you're going to, that isolate the targets and do not create these excessive levels of collateral damage. Just as you enjoy very specific results on your search engines, you don't want a bunch of misleading or tangential things. You want the specific results. It's important, if you're going to build weapons like this. So that way, You're not destroying the lives of people who have nothing to do with your enemy. We know that that may be a rather surprising answer, but of course it's essential. It's not as if your governments are going to stop building weapons anytime soon. They make billions of dollars doing this, so it will continue. That's why our message is, if you're going to do it, please do it well and in a way that does not create collective destruction. Whenever you're dealing with war on your planet, it's hardly about whatever the major issues of that war and its cause present as. All wars are connected to incredibly ancient conflicts that usually are the result of off-world conflict. So the reason war seems so pervasive is you are seeing an outward expression of a very deep inner issue. Just as a person with digestive issues may get pimples in different parts of their body, and maybe they treat the pimple and it goes away, and then comes back a week later, war is like this, because it is the underlying cause that must be addressed. That is essential. The underlying causes of war have to do with contradicting belief systems, territorial disputes, property disputes. This is my land, that's your land. Someone crosses a boundary. This is my queen, not your queen. How dare you take her? Someone crosses a boundary. You believe in this and I believe in that, and you've preached what you believe in my land, crosses a boundary. That's where most of this comes from. Boundary violation, attempting to dominate the lives and the belief systems of others with the beliefs and cultures of your own. Remember, you all come from the same source. You are all children of the same God. And your three Abrahamic faiths, Islam, Judaism, Christianity, they are all different expressions, different cultural expressions of the same Holy Trinity and of the same one source. So, these conflicts, many of them, are nothing more than the children of God fighting with each other like children. Some of them are older than others. Sometimes you have a younger sibling whom feels entitled, and sometimes you have an older sibling who's been around the block, knows how things work. Sometimes one has to put the other in their place. And again, we're not condoning war. We're not excusing this behavior. Ideally, uncreate it. Ideally, strive for peace. But we're just pointing out these are the things archetypally, energetically, that's taking place. So, may there be peace on your planet. May there be peace in your hearts. May there be peace in your relationships. May the fires of war be cooled. May they go from a vibrant red fire of destruction to a magical green fire of healing. And may those that are at war with others come to recognize the underlying unity that binds them eternally to their enemies in unconditional love and celebration. Because that's what you're all doing on the astral plane. That person you hate, that nation you hate, that ethnicity you judge, you're all best friends in higher dimensions. All of you, best friends. Those who have betrayed you, you love them. You party with them. You celebrate with them. We're not exaggerating. This is the case with all of you. That lover who broke your heart, you're toasting in heaven together, celebrating at divine parties. Do not forget this. Birth your heavens on your earth, so the visions we have described may become your individual and collective lives. We thank you, all of you, for joining us and for asking these questions. We know that they are not easy to ask, and we know that they may be challenging for some to hear. Yet, We are not speaking to snowflakes that melt when they get close to the fire. We are speaking to mountains. All of you. Every last one. Our unconditional love and appreciation to each and every single one of you. We encourage you to join us on your Monday the 13th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our transmission, Stories in the Sky. And we invite you to join us tonight for our presentation with the friend of the channel and friend of our people, Akira, where we shall dive into the power of the Western and Eastern populations of your planet coming together, working together in higher ways that produce truly auspicious opportunities and portals for each and every single one of you. Our unconditional love to you, your loved ones, and your earth. Have an exciting experience of the eternal here and now. Okay. Awesome, everybody. Thank
Here's
you.
a question here. Where do we tune into the session with Akira?
Great question. So tonight we're going to be meeting at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, and Akira has posted a link in the Ryo Channeling Facebook group. So my suggestion, everybody, if you want to be a part of this, which I recommend, it's going to be a lot of fun. Akira's a great friend. You're going to love his energy, his vibe, his partner and co-creator Seiko. She's wonderful too. She'll likely be joining him, so you get to meet the whole crew. That link will be and currently is posted within the Ryo channeling group. He posted it, so search Akira in the searching section. And once this video is formally published on YouTube, we'll strive to get that link in the description. So check back in a few hours. We'll also strive to have ticket links and things like that up here too. So just keep checking if you want to be a part of these events. We'll do what we can to get this accessibility available to you all. Awesome. Well, yeah, thank you so much, Shahira. Great to do this with you. Go ahead.
An awesome channeler, so just putting it out. Thank you for all right there.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I love doing it, and your words are like water to the rose that is this art form. So thank you so much for praising me like that. I appreciate it. And all of you, have a great rest of your Sunday. Enjoy this day. It is the solar day. So celebrate your success, be proud of yourselves, and be generous because it always comes back multiplied in a bigger, beautiful way. So I'll see you all soon. Some of you tonight. Have a great